What is going on, everybody? How you all doing? It's another Sunday evening with Infinity Creators. As always, I am here with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Tech and Collect. How you doing, sir?
Very good, very good. Can't complain, except for just being freezing cold and wet outside. But
Yes.
a good excuse for me to be in here on the computer.
Yes, indeed. And if you do not know me, I am Mr. Dirt Joker Zen, aka Dante. You may have seen me on the Finney equation, but this is all part of the ever branching Infinity Equation podcast. So welcome everybody who's here. Thank you all for showing up and come and hang out with us on a Sunday evening. Tonight we're going to talk about a oh, laser pants always starting trouble. But I'm glad you're feeling better, sir, and I'm glad you're here with hanging with us. Hello, Chillo Figs. Oh, it's better without laser pants. You can't get enough laser pants. Sorry, you can't get enough laser pants. It's always laser pants this and laser pants that. Not enough laser pants. But thank you all for hanging out with us. Tonight we're going to talk about a little something different. We're going to talk about some filaments and resins that we use. And some good ones that are great. That I've had success with. There's some that I have not had success with, which just like I don't think it's just the settings. I think it just may have been the settings and the printer as well, and it just didn't work well with it. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. There were some things I did print out with some flexible resin printing. Flexible resin, I should say. Recently, that I bought from figuregear.com. I bought the files from there. Uh, I have two things printing right now that I'll go into a little bit later with the resins I'm using. So before we get started, how's your how's the new year been treating you, DJ?
Pretty good, pretty good. I think I've spent most of it at work so far, so we'll see how my free time goes. But I didn't get stuck in the was it the 24-hour pile up on I-95, so
Oh
didn't
wow,
have to like. There's been a lot of chaos in the area, and I feel like amongst it, I've avoided a whole lot of it. So I think 2022 is looking pretty good so far.
that's good to hear, sir. Good to hear. I don't know, I can't complain. It's been okay so far. It's been
You
okay.
got some pretty cool new toys. Do you get your bats? I think or
I
uh,
got my Vipers. Yeah, I got my
Vipers. Yeah, I
Vipers.
know you got
Yeah.
one or the other. I'm still waiting on any of it, but very excited. And then I've been picking over the Valiverse and discovered that I missed. There was like a BotCon exclusive too. I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I need to follow up on these because it makes some really good army builders and cannon fodder.
Oh, indeed. Yes. Yes, indeed. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to get my sworn troopers. Not my sworn. I forget what they call them. Day. Oh, good lord. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Losing my mind. Hold on. I'll have it here in a second if I can get my phone to work. Oh, good lord. Mm-mm.
I'm saying my
Oh my, yeah. Wasp Raider. That's what it is. Thank you, Wasp Raider.
at my desk
Wasp
like
Raider.
it's brand new.
Dom Chichiaro says, "What's up? Reorganizing all my wrestling accessories. Also got some leather to do something with my belts. Nice. Let's get some leather straps in there for the wrestlers. I just got some leather in. I finally got the buckles in, so I can redo Cap Shield. So that is on one of the things I need on my on the do list. To actually give him like a leather shield where it's actually strapped to his back and then actually strapped to his arm.
I've been trying to find tiny zippers and things. I finally got my first Mezco. It was the cousin Eddie from the special holiday pack,
Right.
and really enjoying the soft goods. That was one of those things I never thought I needed in toys until I had it, and I was like, yeah, nice
Exactly.
touch. So definitely want to look more into doing some of my own. I have actually some pattern pieces, and that's another good one for you people with 3D prints. If you want to do clothing for any of your figures, a lot of clothing patterns are already online. If you go and find them, you kind of just print out the template, pin it down, and if you, there's two ways, you can pin it down or you can print two and sandwich it. Make sure all the fabric's taut. Go through and cut it, and now you have it. At least the swatches and the right way you need it. From there, you have to figure out if you can stitch or glue very well. But yeah, like a big part of the work is done for you.
Yeah, yeah. That I didn't think of it. You could do that. Yeah, did not even think about that. Especially like doing Batman, like doing Batman insignia, Superman insignia as well too. Yeah, that does work very well. Uh, let's see. Actually, let me bring it up here because I do have it up. Do 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 do. Let's see. Where's that? Where's that? That
Talking
there we
about different resins and type and the importance, going through and trying to make all my cut tools for adding articulation to some figures. And this has just been like a maddening process. But like this one right here will give you a double joint. So you have that nice full flex and bend. I'm going to make another variation on it that'll give like a little bit less rotation to it, but kind of need it for some of the bigger beefy guys.
Yeah.
So, and then they have this new feature now in Blender where you can like create a nice asset library. So I'll have to go through and organize that, and hopefully I can make it like once and share it over with you.
Okay.
Make a lot of this stuff a lot easier. But when doing such, as I'm making all these different pieces to go through and cut the figures, let me see if I can pull someone over. Start to also think about like when making some of these things, it's definitely nice having the multi printer set up, or sometimes just investing in extra vats is wonderful, so you don't have to spend as much time with the changing back and forth of your two resins, because it's wonderful to have the option of something like that flex one. That's what you're going to want to make for any like your elbow joints and those things that are getting like lots of wear and tear. Um, because that's what's going to give you a lot of durability to it. But then some of the other parts you can print with your regular polymer or some of your ABS. But no, that's uh, definitely a nice way to make some of the figures last a lot longer.
Yeah. And then also real quick, I forgot to mention this a couple episodes ago, and I found this real handy as well on my screen real quick here. This book, 3D Printing Handbook, is a great guide to starting out 3D printing. It gives you all the basics. It helps you understand a little bit more when you're doing your design process as well. A great hands-on uh, way of getting familiar with what you're going to be doing and how you want to do it. But it's excellent. I suggest this. Anybody who's getting into 3D printing, get this first, read it, and then go from there, because this book helps so much in like figuring out stuff and how to go with your design and how everything's going to work with it. Oh, $0 on Kindle. I wish I would have known that. I would have got Kindle. Shoot. I bought the full hardcover book.
Like a chump.
Right. They got me. But also, anything we do talk about, either on, like I said, on Infinity Equation or on here on Infinity Creators, will be in the new link tree. So this has been set up so make it easier for everything, so you can find everything very easily. Uh, Here's some of the flex resin we're going to talk about today. The printers we talked about on here. Um, if you want to watch us do gaming and watch Infinity Equation or Infinity Creators on Twitch, here's a link for there. T-shirts, Facebook group, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. So it's all easily right there for you, easy to get to. And this is up on the last episode of Infinity Equation. Oh, good lord, getting tongue tied. Infinity Equation, and is up on the Instagram page as well. Greg has a question for you, Tekla. Segue, but did you happen to see that a company selling unsolicited, unsanctioned TV turtle van looks to be cartoon inspired and cheaper than Super 7? If not, uh, what do you think about the design? I don't think we ever talked about that. So I know
Yeah,
we knew about it.
I'm trying to think. Is that 5K or 5K toys or something? But
Yeah, I think it's that one.
yeah, I was very curious because I know a lot of the early, like postings of it, it definitely was a 3D print. I'm not sure if that's still the case because they look like they might be set up in China. So they,
Mhm.
they have options to certainly work with people and get some molds made. And that looks like the route that they might have gone. Um, yeah, it's one of those things where there's a gray area in the world, and TMNT, that's a brand, that you if that it becomes a big issue if they wanted to try and sit there and say it's official and everything else. They're like, no, this is just a Toidle van or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And yeah, they're going to go ahead and do their thing. But price wise, I these are the things I feel kind of need to happen because I think there's no way that companies don't see that. And I hope that it's a bit of like a reality check to them as far as like what prices could be, because it's odd when you see some of the bigger ones not seeming to be able to be as competitive with pricing compared to what is like a small mom and pop shop or some other operation, because it should be like a reflection of like humble beginnings. You grew, you've got the better equipment, you should be able to make this more cost effective and hit all these points. So yeah, yeah, I like it. It's just another option. And for there's some people out there who are aren't going to want the Super 7 for whatever reason, or they're not going with the NECA, and maybe they like this, or maybe they don't need a van for any of that at all. They just they have their own idea and they're like, okay, I'll get this. It's much more cost effective for all the bells and whistles, and I'll modify it to my needs. But yeah, it's I support it, but that's because I
Right.
also do my own little things.
I think it's great. Like, because like you said, with Super Seven, the way that it's priced, I think it's a little high for a turtle van. Uh, and then you also got NECA working on theirs. So it's really going to it's I'm wanting to see how it's really going to turn out, and that way where how much NECA is going to be when it drops, and is it going to be comparable to the if it's comparable to the $500 turtle van that Super Seven is giving out, putting out, or and if NECA's like has the same thing, like hey, we got the same thing, but like $300 cheaper.
And
Like
yeah,
okay,
and I'm definitely feeling it's going to go that way, just because even though there's been a price increase across the board, seeming for everyone, and
hmm
I'm going to probably attribute most of that to shipping, because that would just make the most sense of all the hold up and the biggest change in their costs in the past year. Um, but with that, NECA's still been much lower than Super 7, 55 or 50 or 45 versus about 35, 30, 25 for whatever the, per figure cost. So you definitely see, the van probably being in the 250 to 300 price range. Then again, I would even lean towards being high because they're nice big diorama displays. Those are about 150. And then you can still get them, I think, for 100 or 110, depending on the
yeah,
sale event. So I definitely feel that they have some wiggle room. It's just how much they want to play that hand, because also once they get into like the van, that I imagine is kind of like they're reaching the bottom of their barrel, possibly, as far as like what some of their core collectors might be going out. So that's part of the incentive I could see too. Whereas if they're like, hey, we're not going to do any of the other vehicles, this is the only one we're going to do. Well, we want to milk this. So wait,
exactly.
wait and see.
Yeah. Greg says, "What's going on?" Sorry, what's going on, White Vegeta? Greg says, "I thought it was a nice touch to do simple LED headlights. Also, the cartoon design was nice. Yeah, most of them have like the cartoon design. I think both of them are going to have that cartoon design. NECA may not have like the working headlights in it, but that's remaining to be seen because we
Mhm.
only seen like a prototype of it. We haven't really seen like the full version. So definitely something I'm looking forward to seeing and see how it turns out.
Absolutely. Yeah, because no, the headlights, that's nothing. That's only a couple cents per uh
Right.
to add in. That's something I'm trying to do for mine. The bigger hassle is just I have a little like odd concerns incorporating because I haven't sold any electronics in 3D prints, so that's going to be a new one. And I'm trying to read up like, hey, I want to make sure I put like whatever fire safety notice, like anything. I'm like,
Yeah.
like understand that it's a simple electronic, but I want to make sure to cover myself as far as any liability.
Yep. Yeah, you definitely gotta do that. Definitely. What's going on, Action Figure Expert? How you doing? Um, so oh sorry. Before we hit into going to Resin Filaments, Don Machuchiar says necklace should be interesting. I remember them saying that they were having trouble selling on the inside design since it's never the same in the show. Hmm.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
And,
strange.
that
Yeah.
so the inside of the van changes multiple times. That there's one point where they have another row seat. There it's a half wall, it's a full wall.
Mhm.
Some of the electronics change inside, but I will say I
Yeah.
think the radar and computer the radar and on it, what do you call it, the map screen, whatever, the big computer
Yes.
screen. Those are probably the two most consistent parts. But yeah, the middle part changes quite a bit depending on the shot needs.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it'd be kind of cool if like the computer you can change it, like changes like have little cardboard cutouts or something that could change in the screen, like you
Yeah,
have it changed out.
because
That'd be
they,
nice.
I'm trying to think if they. Oh no, I was thinking of another toy that I got recently. But yeah, definitely something they could, I feel, easily do. A little nice little slit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. Omar says, "Sup, Dante and TNC." What's going on, Omar?
Hope you're enjoying your Sunday, Omar.
Uh, so I guess you can start with resins. Talking about some of them. I get most of my resins from Amazon. I don't know. I don't know where you get yours from, DJ. I get mine from
Anywhere
Amazon.
they're in stock, honestly.
That's
Yes,
yeah.
Amazon. I that's been an annoyance too lately. I have an order of 10 spools that's been pushed back since like late November. So
Oh
I need
wow.
to experiment. Like, oh yeah, I just need to experiment with some other colors. I'd like to just go with black or white for
Mhm.
consistent results as far as printing. But I'm gonna have to go try out like a nice like pink or blue or green, whatever their biggest stockpile that doesn't sell. I'm like, okay, that's the one I want, so that I know any day of the week I can order 10 spools and they're going to be here in 2 days.
Right. Let me know. I got some colors I still haven't messed with yet. That I'm
All
not sure
right,
if I'm gonna get to, but let me know. I'll let you know what colors I
I
have. And
I got
also,
some that needs to be printed in maybe purple and burgundy.
I think I may have purple.
Oh,
I think I don't have burgundy, but I know I got purple. Uh, so this is one I've been. I'm like I started using like I want to say maybe like 2 weeks ago, and I love it. I love this. This is a good resin. Um, the reason why I really love this, it is a little pricey for the 500, but the one this I couldn't go do the 1,000 gram. Like that one is just like that's a little out of hand. But I'll buy two of these, two to 500s for the price that it's at. It's kind of decent, but just what you like, you see what you get. Like you print out, it is that flexible. There's no if ands or buts about it. It's great. That's what I want to try next is make some tires with it. But it's just so easy to pull off the build plate, so easy to pull off the supports. Once you put in alcohol, it's rubbery. The supports just peel right off. Nothing. Like it's this is one of the best resins I've ever messed with. I want to say.
have you tried out any of their other ones? I'm trying to think. It's like F58, and I think there might be a 68 as well.
I haven't tried any other ones. I did. I was looking on their website to see what other ones they had. They do have like yeah, like you're saying the F80. There's the K, the G217. I know a couple other ones.
And like to my experience, well, yeah, what a lot of people are saying about them, they did a good job like matching up like a picture next to the purpose for them.
Yeah,
If you need something that has just some spring to it, go with Formula A, B, C, D, what have you. But yeah, I'm very excited. But yeah, like you said, there's a price to be paid for the quality.
yeah, but it's worth it. I'm going to tell you, it's truly worth it. Let me find it real quick here. I thought I had it up, but I didn't. The other reason why I love this, because if you go to their website, and I have to bring it up again here.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up too. I know what you're talking about.
Their website is fantastic, very user friendly. Gives you so much information you need, especially for the printer that you're using it for. Let's see here, close this. So I'm gonna bring this over here. They let you download an Excel spreadsheet for the printer that you're using for and tell you how to set it up. How many of them do that?
And it's going to save you so much aggravation because there's one key
Exactly.
setting that I think we failed to touch on is UV exposure. Or I'm sorry, UV light intensity. It's going to be listed different things, but it's the value, how much power is actually going into your bulbs whenever the UV lights power on. And different models have a different default setting. Some might be at 50% or 60%. Some are cranked up all the way to 100, and that's another thing that can be a huge factor as far as quality of your prints.
Exactly. So in this case, I have my longer 3D, have the orange 10, and right here tells me the layer height, bottom layer count, exposure time, how just straight across, simple and easy to set up. That's beautiful. And not only is this sheet, you can use this sheet just for the one that you get. No, no, no. Let me tell you, they got it for all of them. Little tabs at the bottom for each one that they have. For all the resins that they have that particular setting for each printer. That's amazing. That's simply amazing.
I'm very excited. I actually have. I'm trying to see. I think I have three different ones. Yeah, I have the M58, the M68, and the F69. So I need to clear out some VATs hopefully this evening or tomorrow so I can try them out for their various purposes.
Oh yeah, it's when I went to their website and looked at this, I was like, yo, they got me as a customer. I'm with it.
Right,
This is
did you try this yet? Was it the
the
WD-40?
WD-40.
Yeah, with the
I,
PTFE.
I have not.
So
I
that's
have
going to be
not
part
tried
of
that.
mine too, because I'm going to leave one that is the full Soraya Tech, because I'm sure that's one you've been having problems with trying to print 100% flex. I
Yeah.
can either get some of my smaller prints that come out beautiful, and then that same print I could try 2-3 more times, and it'll just be super inconsistent. And I'm not sure if it's the same thing for you, where it's like sometimes it seems like just sticking to the screen, or it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't print at all, and
Yeah.
it's very finicky. And I'm hoping to resolve at least part of it with using this. And for those who aren't familiar, WD it's a version of WD-40 specialist dry lube with PTFE, and the PTFE is the important part. What you're going to do is clean down your screen as you always do, hit it with rubbing alcohol, wearing gloves, and then at the end spray just a little bit of this on the screen, wipe it from corner to corner, and give it a few moments, and it's going to create a protective layer that ideally, whenever you add your resin, it's never going to actually touch on the screen. There's going to be a little bit of an air gap, but it's going to not be able to stick at all. So it's going to peel up and lift every time, and hopefully you'll hear less of that tunk, 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 especially
Yeah.
when you're printing some bigger pieces and there's more suction going on.
So I'll tell a funny story that happened to me this week, and I was stupid because it was my stupid mistake. So I went to go clean out my Creality printer. And I was like, all right, putting resin in. I could change the film on there, which that's the one thing I hate doing on the printer. I have no problem cleaning out the vat, pouring the resin, clearing that out. It's just changing that stupid film on there. So I changed it. I went to go put it on, spent print. Next morning I came up. I had left it on all night, let it print. I'm like, why is the resin all over the place? Like the resin had leaked out of the vat. onto this, like leaking outside the printer, but it was still like a good amount of resin still in the vat itself. And then I look over on the desk. I forgot to put the bottom bracket on.
Oh no, no. So it's just been slowly oozing around the sides.
Yes, it was
Did you run
just
a print too?
yeah, it was running print. I left
Yeah.
it on all night,
Yeah.
but
So
it
every
wasn't.
time
I
that
think it
thing.
was. Yeah, it wasn't a whole lot. Thank goodness, but it was just enough just to even be irritant.
With that said, another good reminder for everyone: a simple mistake can happen at any time. I highly recommend there's silicone pet food mats. Otherwise, there's various plastic trays with lips. You just want something
Mhm.
with a lip to put underneath these. So should that ever happen, very easy mess to clean up. Wipe down everything. Then you have your one mat with all of your resin contained. If you want to take the extra time, you can then get a UV light, blast it, it'll all harden, peel, toss it,
Yeah,
all brand new.
yeah. I'm just telling you, like, it was the first time I made a dumb mistake. Be the last time I made that dumb mistake. But it was so. I just want to let people know, like, even though I still do this, I still make mistakes. It's going to happen. It is going to be what it is,
Oh,
unfortunately.
yep, yep. I know I definitely had an issue with a print where I was like, how did everything just, it was like slowly, like every layer was so shifted that it didn't make any sense until I went
Hmm.
to go remove the build plate and realized I did not tighten it. I just slid it on there and closed it up and went print. It's like, yeah, that might be the result.
Yep. Yeah, that's it. So, so don't think it's perfect. We all make mistakes on these printers. Like it happens. Yeah, it happens all the time. I'm trying to find where is this for this. They had it on here. Ooh, ratings. I can just go there. Self Resin. But definitely, if you want to start out with, this is great. I think I want to probably order more. And this is nice. And they break it down. So resins for figure and hobby toys, resin for dental. Like who just tells you that? The back,
Yeah.
like, hey, this resin's for good for this. This resin's good for that.
And yeah, that's what definitely helped me helped incentivize my choice because yeah, I was just browsing through resins one day and I stumbled across them and I found that same section. I was like, "Huh, you guys seem to be telling me exactly what I'm looking for." So yeah, and that's
Yeah,
why I ordered the handful from the action figure section.
yeah. The crazy part is like I found this through figure gear, and I seen like he had posted what he was using as a flexible resin. I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, I have to look into that, and I finally looked into it. Finally got it. I was like, okay, this is really great because I'll bring it up here. Let me see. When I was printing these out from figure gear, as you see, not bad, but I can squish it and it goes right back to its original position.
Absolutely. I'll
That's
say
beautiful.
I've this what's this Ryotech with the successful ones I could get. Same thing. I could flex them and they go right back to the position, but it still there's like a rigidness about it. It was like it
Hmm.
was flexy but hard. It was hard to describe. That looks exactly what you want it to be. It's
Yep.
that I don't want to say gummy, but like that's kind of like what you want. It's this nice level of softness, but it snaps right back to the position you need it to be once you get it on your figure.
Yep. So I did learn this the hard way. Again, messing around with stupid stuff. I forgot I printed out a vest, left it in overnight in the alcohol. I came back the next day, and I was trying to pull the supports off, and it fell right apart in my hand. So you
Mhm.
can't leave it in there for too long.
Yeah, it'll just dissolve.
Yeah,
That
it truly did.
that reminds me that I'll have to talk to you about it because we'll see if we can uh, find a nice. We might need some little charts. That'd be a nice breakdown. But I have a friend who's a chemist, so I was talking to him about it. And then I just looked up some videos about it. the actual you can find out some of the information as far as like the chemical composition of these resins, and that alone, once you understand what you're looking for, is a great insight to say, okay, this one contains the right elements of the formula for the qualities I want. So then you can just almost look
Right.
beyond the brand and just say, yeah, they got the right formula in here. Let's see how their ratios are.
Yeah, that would be great. That'd be a good thing. I am posting right now in the chat the Resin website. So if you want to go check it out yourself, you can. Trying to think of the other resins that I've purchased. What was that? Anycubic. That's what it was. Let's see. Anycubic resin.
I've definitely gone through quite a bit of Elegoo myself.
How do mess with you? How now? Tell us a little. I didn't really mess with that one myself.
Um, I'd say it feels very run of the mill. I used it, and gosh, it what I feel like it was like another generic gray brand. I couldn't tell you, but it it just seems to work. There's nothing fancy or special about it. I will say that the ABS is supposed to be their tougher one, and with that, I guess maybe it makes it more brittle. Their regular gray polymer is a really good like entry level. Like if you just want to just print something and like get into it and see how it works, their gray polymer it's very forgiving. So you can make a print and it'll have a bit of give to it as far as like I wish I had one laying around here, but just had some like poles and things and spears. And if I print them in the ABS one, a little bit of a bend and they're probably going to snap. Whereas the regular gray polymer, they can have a good amount of bow to them. They almost seem like something that you'd find out of a toy package.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd say it's definitely reliable, and it's like $30 for a 1 liter, so it's very like was it ergonomic or not ergonomic? Economic. There we go. Cost effective a resin.
Sorry, I was looking for you. I didn't see this one. You know what? And I do apologize. I take that back. I have a good one, but I just seen this one, this plant based one.
Yeah, that's interesting. So I think most of those, it's like 45% of it's soybean.
Really?
Yeah, it's made from I think soybean oil extract. I'll have to double check what the actual the part
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. It says
Yep.
mainly from soybean, yet still delivers amazing prints. Yeah.
And I'm curious as far as what other trade offs. Is this one of those things where yeah it'll last 100 years unless you expose it to the right thing to break it down, kind of like how PLA is. I haven't
Right.
I'm a little bit new to it myself, but it's one of those ones like I'll check. Oops, excuse me, I'll check it out. Um, because it's definitely if I hope that with it being eco-friendly, it's also like less hazardous. So
Yeah.
that's one of those things where if I'm printing a whole lot of parts, where like, okay, I'll try this out as long as I know I don't have to like, oh no, I left them in the rain. They'll warp or something odd, but I don't think that should be the case.
No, it shouldn't be. But I might have to try this next time. See how this is.
But from the looks of it, like that one, it looks very comparable to what they would say offer as their regular gray polymer, and
Right.
yeah, I'd try it.
And it's definitely a lot cheaper too. 34.99 for the 1,000 grams.
And then you can do like the subscription and save 5 or 10% based on however much you order.
Right.
Um, and yeah, especially if you get into this and you're printing regularly, I definitely recommend figure out like a resupply schedule, and they'll go a long way to save you some money.
Is it?
Doing some of the subscriptions on Amazon.
Oh, they got the black. Okay, they got black. Let me have to check this out. This is new. I'm going to check out for though. Now the one I really enjoyed, and sometimes it's just this. I think their gray comes out a lot darker than the non water washable gray. but this gray water washable one is great. But as you can, I'm going to show this real quick because I have here.
Yeah, I haven't done any water washable.
So the darker one is the water washable. The lighter one is just a gray. And see how much it comes out so much darker, like a darker gray than
Mm-hmm.
it should be.
Is there any difference to the feel in the hand? Does like one feel like any rubbery or more on describe it that like hard plastic?
No, they still feel good. Like the water washable one feels a little bit rougher than. I don't know. Wait a minute. Trying to think.
Because it kind of depends too. Because there's a certain roughness that I would like where it's like, oh, it's a grip. It's going to be good for paint and everything.
Right.
But yeah, definitely curious as far as uh, a strength comparison and some other things. I still haven't tried any of the water washable. I should probably order some.
It's not bad. Like I said, it's not. It's really great because when the print's done, you just put in water. Like those are great. Like I love that. Like that's what made me like want to try it because it was like something like, oh yeah, I can just throw this in the water and it's clean and it's done. I can kind of
Absolutely.
cure it if I want to. It will dry it out just a tad bit, so I can show this where I cure it real quick. So this is a water washables again, but you can see like where it. I think I probably left it in the cure for a little too long.
Hmm. Well, yeah, it depends. Sometimes when you get those white spots, it could just be a little bit of resin film that got on it, and so when that
Right.
cures, it cures this ultra thin, and yeah, it comes off that like off white color. But as long as it's not soaked through the model, then you shouldn't have to worry about it being brittle or anything.
Exactly. Cap lives asks, are those hyper shackles? These I actually kind of base these off from the house. This is the newest X Men comic. I can't remember. It was a picture of Sabretooth in these, so I kind of based them off of that. So that's what these are a little bit based off of. Try to recreate them as best as possible to what they look like in there, but also through a little bit of my design in there as well too. So that's what these are based off of. So you kids, this is what happened when you read comics. You started like looking at comics and you're just like, man, I need to do that. I want to start hopefully tonight or tomorrow. I really want to start doing spider webs in this flexible resin because I think it would work.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, yeah. I think you're set up. Let me know. I think I made a basic strand, so I can make something repeat and zigzag. This the size of the build plate if you want.
Yeah, yeah, that's no problem. Actually, it'd probably be better if I put on the build plate like vertical instead of horizontal.
Oh yeah.
Because even if I do like, if you do horizontal, it'll still make you can have the short ones, but where it's still like think because I have a a Spider-Man figure here that I can show. I'll take this down for a second. So even with like having a Spider-Man, like where it could just still fit around where you put his hands in, like an interchangeable hands.
Yep.
So definitely, yeah. I think we can bust that out. That shouldn't be too hard.
Oh, there was another one I realized I wanted to do. I'm going to make a swing, and then it'd be up to someone else to find a little kid. But then they can do their animated Spider-Man when he's having that talk. He creepily swings into the bedroom of that little boy. It's like, let me give you some life lessons while your
Oh, the
parents don't
girl where
know.
he like, yeah, the girl who had like the who was like in that house for sick kids. I was like,
Yeah.
oh no.
I'm like, you're doing good, but everything about this is a little odd.
Well, it was her. It was her make a wish. That's what it
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that making this swing would be a nice little touch.
Actually, you know what you could do? For those who do remember Justice League, the anime series, I think it might have been Justice League Unlimited at that point, where Batman is talking, where Justice League is fighting the Royal Flush, and it was the little girl that Batman was having a conversation with on the swing. You could do that as well too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man, so, yeah.
Yeah.
I could watch that forever.
Oh yeah. Now you make me want to go watch the
You're
whole.
right.
Thank you, Grant. It was Alice. Yes, Alice.
Yeah, DC animated universe is just some of the best content out there.
Oh yeah. And just real quick, I'll show this one too. This is Vampire Slayer as well.
Yeah, it looks good. I need to spend a little time to try to make a scan in so I can get the right scaling, so I can make some a few more accessories.
And that's his Commando one. So I wanted something like this for my Black Panther
Hmm.
because I want to make that kind of that Commando Black Panther that was like in the like kind of '90s
Hmm.
where he had the Commando all gear out. I was like, oh, I like this Black Panther. All right, go ahead. Capliff says that was Justice League Unlimited epilogue was the episode. Thank you. Yes, I couldn't remember which episode. It's been such a while. It's been a long time since I watched it, but yes, that swing set you were talking about that would definitely work for that as well.
Yeah, it was gosh, when Amanda Walker sent Batman in saying like,
Yes.
"Hey, you got to kill her," and he's like, I couldn't do that, so I just
Right.
convinced her to be okay with killing herself or dying."
Yeah, because she knew she was slowly dying.
Hmm.
I forget what the like disease she had, but she knew she was like slowly dying.
And then it was like reality warping otherwise if she kept on doing what she did.
Yep. Let's see. Bring up this other one here. Anycubic. Now, have you messed with the Anycubic resin as well?
I think I have one or two bottles of it. And yeah, I think that might have been the other one I used. Yep. So yeah, I used an Elegoo and any cubic gray, and I'd say it seemed more or less comparable. There wasn't
Okay.
any wow factor out of it that I'm looking forward to with these other resins. Um, yeah, those I'm hoping will make some projects work out a lot better.
Yeah. I think I get better with the color I have is with the Elegoo one because I have like their green, excuse me, they're red, blue, and clear, which I like.
I need to
Um,
commit and mix in some mica flakes and such. I want to start working
oh
on just
yeah,
making custom colors, and that's part of when I got Resin. I always have trouble saying their name. Um, got the white color of it. Is yeah, I'm looking forward to just trying to do some mixing and hopefully get parts printed in the right shades.
yeah. Like if you want to do that, this red. If you want to do anything in red, this Elegoo red it really works. It's a good color. I like this. It works very well. Uh, I have no problem with this one. And I guess any cubic, like I said, like you said, is nothing to write home about. It's good. It's pretty. It's decent. I think it works better if it's on an Elegoo machine. Um, but it's not. It's not too bad.
Oh,
Uh,
one I will say for a brand, Photon, or what's it? Is it Photon or it's their names? I can't believe I'm tripping on. Um, here we go. Frozen.
oh, okay, the frozen. Yes, yes.
Yes. As far as like a brand like a brand name resin that goes with their printer, their
Sorry, can you hold
blue.
it up again? I was switching over.
Oh,
Can you
whoops.
hold it again?
Yeah, the Frozen brand.
Yeah. Mhm.
This they cost a little. It's one of those ones that does cost a little bit more comparatively. That's why I kind of passed by it. I got it originally when I got one, but it is amazing. Like the blue is some of the toughest prints,
Oh
and
wow.
like I print like these little arms and things. I made a Toto 360 clone, and the
Mhm.
one I have like articulated arms as well. But even these thin ones, they're like I have to put in some work if I want to snap this, and I was just blown away with how tough it is. For let me see, another wonderful tool, caliper if you don't have one. So let's zero this out. This thing is 2.5 millimeters in diameter, and it puts up a fight if I want to sit here. Oh, about three. Um, if I want to sit here and try and snap it.
Wow.
that's impressive for a res, because that's one thing I know a lot of people have concerns with, and I've experienced it, especially with doing lots of small prints. We'll have little ankle joints and things snap.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this really knocks it out, and it's really good at being like within tolerance. If I set my settings for whatever size the print should be, it's gonna come out at that size. If it doesn't, that means that my settings are wrong. I overexposed it or what have you. But there's
Right.
like a very minimal shrinking factor or anything with this. Definitely one of the best ones, but it was one I also ran into during the pandemic. So it was like a shortage. And, I'm sure supplies have gotten better on it, but it's one I just hadn't messed with, and that's what I ventured off into playing, with a bunch of the others. But as far as like a brand name one goes, that's probably the best one I've experienced.
I have to look into that one as well. I have to try that one myself. Um, Richard Sampson says, "I'm going to repaint my roadblock first wave. The first wave version. The paint on him is horrible. Yes, it is. I don't blame you. Those multicolors and gold and green, red, like a Christmas tree." Greg says, "For both of you, if someone wanted to make a Stargate Event Horizon for their DST gate baths, do you think it would be better to go the printing route or create a mold for a poured resin?" Um, in this case, if you already got a printer, just go on Thingiverse. There's a ton of Stargates that people have set up, have like STL files for.
Oh, yeah,
There's yeah,
there's like ones that are that you can move with moving parts
mhm,
that are integrated. I think someone recently put up one that you can add electronics and press
yeah,
buttons, and it keys in, and yeah, you can go over the top with it. That said, I know that there are some like repeating symbols, so if it's something that you are printing to like a large, like 1/6 scale, this could take hours of prints.
right,
You could do the mold route. That's I've never done any mold casting things. That's something I've been actually trying to learn in the past few weeks, is mold casting and trying to get parts for a at home injection molder.
gotcha.
So then I'll hopefully have a little bit more insight on that. But yeah, it's, if you have experiences with making molds already, then I would say something like that where you're gonna have a bunch of repeating parts, give it a try. But if you want to save hassle and just let your printer do the work, like Dante said, there's a plethora of them.
Yeah, you can't. I'm telling you, Thingiverse, you trip over how many you got on there. If they were literally like on the floor, you'd be like, "Oh my goodness, it's like 50,000 of these. I can just pick whatever one I want."
Oh,
But I'm sorry, just real quick. I never, as well as I never messed with molding, so I don't know it myself either. So I couldn't tell you.
oh, you talking about like the water event horizon.
Oh, oh man.
Um,
Um,
so I'd say you could go either way. It probably Actually, I guess it'd be comparable amount of time, because if you went the resin pour route, depending on the set time, and then you have to do your effort of like making your wavy patterns, um, versus the printer, which might, depending on how big it is. If you print it on a printer, I'd say you do it like a wafer going up. So it's just going to be this big thin disc, and depending on how big it is and how big your printer, it'll take a while, but it'll end up looking great. You can get awesome results with, especially with some clear pieces. They have transparent blue, green, orange, red, all the different colors. You can get transparent, regular transparent, and mix in different color dyes, and that's another experiment. Hopefully for the week, I have a whole set of color dyes. Um, and you can give it the right shade of blue or green, or even try to do a little bit of mixing, and depending on the swirl pattern, it'll even print that way. So there's definitely options with both. I'd say with something like that being more simplistic, being like the disc, and the only hard part being like trying to get that wavy pattern. If you're comfortable with already making the molds, I'd shoot for the mold just for the time saving. But if you were a person that has the printer and you don't do molds, then yes, print it. So whichever lane you have the tools for, I would use. I don't think that's like a deal breaker for that type of piece.
Sorry, I was listening. I was making sure there was enough resin in the printer.
Yes, no, that's the
I,
worst.
because I poured only a little bit in there. Oh shoot, did I put enough in there? Richard Sampson asks, I still can't understand how some collectors use grit dye. Does the color stay long term? Anyone in the chat? So if anybody has any answers for Richard, let them know. I personally never dyed anything, so
Yeah,
I never used
I
grit dye
haven't.
myself.
Yeah, but I could assume that based on how it works and the different, it's going to depend on which type of plastic is it's being soaked in, but it's going to absorb into that plastic. It's going to be quite a permanent effect.
Mm-hmm.
That said, I do know that um, there's a term. I'm trying to remember what they call it. Retro white, or there's a, I can't remember what it's called, but anyways, you take a high ratio like hydrogen peroxide. There's actually a formula you can buy at beauty supply that's for hair dyeing. I think it's called like volume 40, and this is just hydrogen peroxide in a paste format. And if you have something that's a white print or a white piece of plastic, it's been out in UV exposure, it's tinted yellow. If you go and put it hydrogen peroxide on it, and you can submerge it in it or coat it in this paste and put it back in UV light, it will reverse the same chemical process that occurred, and it'll actually return it to white. I don't know if maybe that same type of process would then be able to strip out and undo any of that dyeing process. That would just be my speculation. But if you have something that you don't care about and you want to try, that's how I'd go about it to see what kind of effects you get. Because I'm sure there has to be a spectrum for, like, if you leave a piece in there for 30 minutes versus an hour, how much of that dye absorbs, how much of it tint and darkens, and things of that nature.
There you go.
But there's definitely a benefit, because why some people do the dye is you're trying to maintain the tolerance of the toy, because once you start adding paint coats, things might not move the same. You'll get paint chips and other issues.
Hope that answers your question, sir. Um, guess we can move on because we talked about most of the resins that are out there. So let's talk about some filament. And the reason why I like printed solid, because it got tons and tons and tons of different colors of filament, and they make their own filament as well, which is great. They do their own They make their own. Some of these are Jesse's filament, but some of them are ones that they make themselves, which is great to help a small business out too. Uh, that makes filament for 3D printers. Not only do they sell 3D printers as well, but they sell filament as well too. I've gone because the store is close to me. I've gone up there and bought filament in hand, and they're all
Jealous.
very knowledgeable.
Yeah, I have to
I
drive
wonder
like
if they still do it
45 minutes
anymore.
if I want to go to like a micro center to buy some in hand, and it's just going to be they're inland, and they're inland or
No,
whatever's fine, but it just feels a bit brittle.
yeah, these if you order from Print Solid, their filament is worth it because they have so many different colors. Let's see. So they got blue, red, green. They got tree green, gunmetal gray, and you can kind
Oh,
of see
that's
like what
yeah.
you get.
White Mike just chimed in. Yeah, that's a good point about the dye. Is yeah, it could definitely bleed back out, and so he's reminding to put
Mm,
a clear coat on top of it to help protect.
yeah, I forgot. I didn't know it bleed back out. I know like what you were saying, like with it working, but I didn't know it would bleed back out.
Because I think it's like kind of an oil almost, so it'll soak in, and then any surface that touches it, it'll soak back out. So then it could be the thing too, where like you put it up on a shelf and you go to remove it, and it's like, who left footprints?
um, but yeah, there you go, Richard. Mike BG says you can reach out to him on Instagram, and there you go. Hopefully, he can help you out there. Uh, but yeah, if you want to look, if you're looking for filament, DJ, this is the place to go. These are your color, like you
Yeah,
get
yeah.
colors out the wazoo.
Yeah, that is a good one because that's what I've been looking at too. Is just the cut down on some of the extra work, and if I'm able to like get closer to whatever shade that I wanted for the piece, then I can just sand it
Mhm.
down and know it's going to look good. Um,
Right.
the only other odd thing is I'm always leery about getting a new filament because the thought in the back of my head is like, oh, I have to go tune all my settings again. But I
Yeah.
really want to look at finding a color such as like blue, green, pink, or something that I think is whatever like I said, they're just sitting on a pile of. That's the color I want to find and get all my settings tuned to, so that way, when everything's out of stock, I know that I can still get you know uh, off egg orange or whatever odd color it is. But I was like, okay, I can always get this, and then I'll prime it and paint it to whatever color it needs to be. But yeah, ideally, I would like to be able to stock up on like, oh, sweet, here's the whole rainbow. I need
Mhm.
this one and this one for this figure.
So with them, I usually if you get like a certain brand, like I guess if you, let's just say for Green Gate, for example, they're usually all the same. They have the same settings for their printer for the printer because it's usually just the same heat settings for it.
Mm,
Usually with them, and I'm just using Green Gate as an example. I know when I was using my Robo 3D, like not MakerBot, yeah, MakerBot. Their printers use a different heat setting, what a different filament we use. So that's when I have to go in and change the heat setting on that. Like, okay, it can only go up this high. Put it too high, then it's not going to print right. And then what I got from Print I was like, okay, this filament it goes up higher, so you have to heat it up at a much higher temperature than MakerBot's filament.
mm-hmm.
And so yeah, that's one of the things like I did learn when I was first starting out was changing really it wasn't too much of like the change in settings. It was just a tad bit of adjusting with the setting, but it was more going with the temperature itself.
No, yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Like, just going from because I had such a headache. I've been printing gray for such a long time, then I got some black, and I was having some issues, and then just the temperature a little bit, and then it's going good. Then black was out, and then I got white, and I'm like, man, it's not working. And I was starting to think, man, I must be missing something else. Nope, nope. It was still a temperature issue. It was just instead of it being like a 5 degrees Celsius, I think it was a 20 degrees Celsius difference.
Mhm.
And it's yeah, it's just odd thing to experience, but definitely one of the first things to check whenever you change your filaments is assume that if your settings have been working for a long time, most likely, yeah, what you have to match up is the right temperature. And even if the brand model says whatever it is, keep in mind there could be a variation because of how well your heating element works, what printer you have, how large of a heating block it has, and a lot of like little factors that could add up.
Um, yeah, they make me want to buy this sky blue. Yeah, this sky. This I like this color sky blue.
Oh no,
Right.
absolutely.
Darn it.
Actually, I got some was it transparent blue and transparent red filament, and I'm curious to
Mhm.
see how that goes because I've done the resin printing; those turn out fine. You're able to get nice. You're able to see through them if you put clear coat or sand them. Uh, but I'm curious doing the filament one. Like, is it going to like have these lines at an angle? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, just very
Right.
see how it turns out.
There's one I still have. I still have to mess with a little bit more. It's like it's almost like this sky blue color, but it's a tad bit darker. But it has like these like flakes in it. Almost makes it look like an icicle kind of like color.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, because that's a similar thing why I got these is I want to try to do some effect pieces because I think that's where a filament's great for is if you have to print off any large chunks of display or anything like that, definitely save you on resin.
Yep. Oh yeah, definitely. But if you're looking for filament, this is the place to go. Like I said, like right now, there's like 39 pages full of filament.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm dumbfounded because like most other places, like, you might get like 10 or 12 different colors. And I'm like, oh, the pages keep going.
right. This one. even though they're out of stock, like there's some that are still like this magenta, ruby pearl, ruby red. Like, yeah, I I don't know any place that gives you this much of an option. Um, Actually, yep, there you go. Yeah, even for the Ultimaker, they gave you like different options for Ultimaker as well.
Have you done any prints with any of like the what's it, the wood filaments or the copper, any of the like the additive ones?
I have not as of yet. I because easy me, I still haven't set up my I still haven't set up my
Oh
Ender
yeah,
three.
yeah, I forgot. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I still haven't set up the Ender 3 yet. I'm hopefully maybe try to do it this week, but I still haven't set up that Ender 3 yet. I just got the thing is like I don't want to take up too much on my display space either, where I do like pictures and maybe try once in a while do a review in a
Mhm.
lifetime. But uh, yeah, I haven't because I just don't want to take up that space because the printers are already taking up a little bit of space too.
Oh yeah.
Plus the computer with the monitors, it's like so it's just kind of trying to retail space is looking a little busy.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely know the feeling.
What else is they do is also sell parts if you need it for your printers. So don't think they just sell filament and printers themselves. They do have parts for it as well, which is always good
Yeah,
because if you
if
need
you
something, you got
and
it.
if you have a filament printer and you haven't tried out different nozzle sizes, I highly recommend that. Get most of
Mhm.
them come with a point 0.4, order a point 0.6 and a point 0.8 millimeter, and you'll have to go through most Cura and things have a setting where you just should change the nozzle size, but it is it's pretty cool. There's a lot of these prints that I have to do in bulk and things, and it could cut down on so much time when I'd print a trying to think like a point 0.8 millimeter wall. It's going to need to do two passes. Nope, I can just swap the nozzle and now it does it in one pass.
There you
Um,
go. Yeah, actually, they have a little fun kit here. They said nozzle fun pack.
yep. There you go. And it's just what it says because you need the point 0.4, of course, if you're printing any small little detailed things. But the bigger you're printing, upgrade that nozzle size. You're gonna save the time and effort, and you also get stronger parts because all the infill and everything else. It's going to be going through at that wider width.
Yeah, there you go. So that's something else to look forward to. Uh, so I guess for you, DJ, since you do more filament printing too, is there any particular filament that you use mostly, or
So I would say my favorite brand for a long time was Hatchbox. I'd used them for literally years on end.
Mhm.
But then the pandemic came, and they are based in Germany, and it was just a big like their manufacturing had shut down, and it started to pick back up again, and it's just been kind of like on and off. They have better availability now. Um, I will say that is just it just works. It's wonderful. Um, since then, I've done Sunlu, Inland. I'm trying to think of what the other one is. A few like odd brands, but I've been using quite a bit of Sunlu, and I'm okay with it. I'm happy with it, but it's another like one of those odd ones where I think it says something like 190 degrees is the temperature setting, and I was doing that and I was getting a lot of failures, and I was like, oh man, it's just just a crap filament. And then I
right?
dialed it down to 180 and everything's working beautiful. um and I remember which was the new one. Actually, I finally tried at Amazon's. I tried their
Really?
Overture. Yeah. um the overture was good. So that's
Hmm.
normally like $25. They have it on sale from time to time. I think it was like Prime Day or whatever the recent holiday was, and it was $16 a spool. So I got a bunch, and I was very very happy. There's this like nice flex to it. It doesn't seem to like absorb moisture as readily like a lot of the other ones. If I left the spool up there
Right.
and wasn't printing for 6 hours, it's probably going to snap in between where it holds this long bow.
Yeah.
But with the overture, I left it there like a week in between prints. Just had a little bit left on the spool. It's like, oh, I don't know what to do with that. I might just change it out. Man, yeah, it just sat there fine, and it really retains a good amount of flex. And if you go to bend it, it does that like thing that plastic does, where it stretches, and you see the whiteness. It doesn't just snap in half. I'm like, that's good filament.
Yeah.
Um, I think I had to put the temperature up a little bit higher for that one to get the layers. I think I had a little bit of a delamination issue with some of the
Mm.
layers, but once I got it tuned in, very solid, very happy. And there's this nice look to it, but I'm trying to see if there's two versions. If I've seen a lot more of silk offered, so I don't know if there's a regular black and a black silk, because I got two different. At one point, you could see it visibly on the filament itself, like a sheen to it. But the one that I have now, it's much more like matte and very satisfying look. It doesn't have that typical like you don't see the staircasing because it just kind of absorbs the light. So it's very good for getting your draft print up and then being able to go and cover it with filler and primer and everything else. But it just looks really, really like professional off the print bed. I don't know how to describe it.
Hmm. I'm gonna have to look into that myself and see.
Mm.
I didn't know how good it was. The
Oh
Amazon
yeah,
version.
I kept passing up on thing. I was like, oh, this. I
Right.
don't know if I should be getting this. This might be like getting cheap batteries. But I'm like, no, it was worth it. I think I got some of the basic. The basic seemed pretty comparable. I feel like there was a little bit of difference between that and their overture. Um, but yeah, I'd say if that's on sale, pick up a few rolls. It was definitely worth it.
All right. I'll go ahead and add that to my Amazon list things to get for 3D printing because I
Oh, and they
definitely.
also come with like the bag is resealable, so if you want to take the spool back
Oh,
off, you can close it
nice.
back up, and it comes with a fresh like 9x9 adhesive uh, bed, like to put on your print bed. So if you want to just
Mm.
put it on your glass bed and put the sticker on there every so often, each one of the spools comes with them. So I have a stack. What I'm
Oh
end up
wow.
using them for is I have the bigger CR10S5, and I'm just going to tile them together. So I have one
Right.
nice big tack build plate.
That's not bad. I like that. That's all right, Amazon. You piqued my interest now. Piqued
And I
my
think they're
interest.
starting to do the thing like a lot of others where they have like the cardboard option that saves you a few dollars, where it's the reusable spool system.
Right. Okay. I will have to check into that now. Thank you, because I didn't know about that. White Mike Bejesus says, "Have you tried the Foxwood filament?"
No, yeah, that's one. I want to order that copper, and there's another one I keep seeing recently, the two tone, where like if you, as you turn it, you get different reflection of colors. I think that would be fun for a lot of like the little statue prints and things, especially like I saw some Star Wars ones, so it worked well because it was like blue and red. So if you get the print at the right angle, it's like the dark side, light side.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I definitely want to get some of the wood ones just to see, what's it like. If it'd be nice to make like some crates and different diorama pieces with. And the copper one, I want to do. I want to test some electronic stuff with it. Be like, hey, can I like print some in place circuits and things?
Yeah. White Mike says as well. Was told it was able. I was able to. It was able to be sanded and stained.
Yeah, so if I recall, with a lot of the false wood or the fake wood, whatever ones, it's like a 30% to well, somewhere between 30 and 15% of the content is that wood pulp.
Right.
um and so yeah, I can imagine that it would absorb it right up. But with that, I'm still curious as far as, is it more brittle? How's it feel? Is it gonna feel like
Yeah.
that? Was it balsa wood? Is that what it's called, like
Yeah.
at hobby? uh,
Yeah.
that's what I have my picture in my mind, but at the same time, like maybe there's enough plastic ratio that it's still just going to feel solid. It just might give you splinters.
Yeah. But I think, but in that case, most of all 3D prints can be sanded. That's no problem.
Hmm.
The stain part is kind of new to me because I'm like, oh, like, really, like, could make like, yeah, a little table for like stuff or maybe something else out of it. But I never really thought about where you can stain, like do actual staining on something that you 3D printed.
Oh yeah. That's and people do it the same way they would do wood. They take their rag, soap it,
Mhm.
dab a little bit of oil, and just rub it in.
Now, I guess I haven't really tried it too much because I know that most acrylic paints will stick into stick to like 3D prints that if you're printing out. I don't know if you found that works well for you or if there's a different paint that works as well.
I so I always put primer on there first. So
Mm.
if you put primer on that, that's always going to be a big advantage. Then of course acrylic will stick to it, not a problem. And if you do primer first, there is was it you can do latex is another good option for certain pieces. Um, and especially like those rubbery pieces. So if you hit those with primer and then take latex paint and have like like a water dish, I'm trying to think how to put it. There's a gosh, it kills me what's called, but whenever I'm painting with my brushes, there's this. I think it's called a wet bed or a wet mat, and all it is a piece of foam with a layer of like wax paper on it, so that whatever paint you put on this paper, it always has moisture, so it's not drying up. And with stuff like that, you're able to always have a nice wet brush and make the paint real thin. So with that, you're able to get a nice thin coat of the latex, and then you can put it on those flex prints, and hopefully they should hold their paint. Especially if you give it a clear coat afterwards through, as you bend and use it.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, because I that does definitely work. Because I want to paint these, but I'm just amazed how much looping you get like with it on the figure. Like you still
Oh yeah.
have it.
Yeah, I'm thinking as soon as I get off this, I'm like, I don't know why I haven't opened mine yet. I need to be printing.
Yo, I'm telling you, like
As soon
this.
as when you sent me that text, it has been itching the back of my mind. I was like, I bet he's tried the new one. It must be
Yes,
good.
it is. Like I, I'm telling you, like I've been having so much fun. Like I've been wanting to find stuff to like print out that's flexible, like that would work with it. I tried printing out like I was like, yo, backpack would be great for like Spider Man or something.
Mhm.
Now I found a backpack, but the file did not print well with it. So I don't know if it
Oh,
was just because of the file
mhm.
or I had the right settings for the resin. It's just
it,
like it
it could
just fell
easily be
apart.
the file. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was dealing errands yesterday. I forgot to follow up with you. You had some Blender questions. So
Yes.
a good one for Blender, and if you follow up with me later, or if you want to load it up now, if you get Blender installed, one of the first things you can do is go up to the top, go to Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, and there's one that's called 3D Print or 3D Print Tools. Let me see. I can look at it right now. Um, 3D print tool. Oh yeah, perfect. 3D print toolbox. And if you install this little feature, whenever you go to your model that you might be having an issue with, you come over here on the right, and it can check, and you just do a solid check intersections or check all, and it will go and find what's wrong with your print and fix it.
Oh,
So
nice.
often I think you just need to do the solid. The check all can sometimes be overkill and like fill peg holes and little odd things, but it oh my gosh, it saves so much headache with files that you pull off online. So
Oh, that's
whenever,
good.
if I find something that just has an issue, I'll pull it in there and it'll usually correct it. And then now I've got familiar enough where I can just go through the model myself and say, oh, I see that's what's wrong. Let me just go remove this wall or fix this or that.
Right.
Like what I'm doing right now is fixing making an update on the elbow cut, and I'm going to reduce this one more time, but I'm very happy with how this has been coming along.
No, yeah, definitely. White Mike says I got a couple of Action Force figures that could use an extra gun holster. Man, how many gun holsters your Action Force figures gonna have?
Strapped.
Like,
Yeah, the two underneath the armpits, the
right.
two on the back, four around the waist.
And then he's got the ankle gun. And like, yo, what do you need an ankle gun for? You already got like 6 guns on you. Like, don't worry about what I need my ankle gun for. I got it ready just in case.
Are those Bayonetta stilettos?
Yes. Yes, they are. They shoot too. Kaboot shoot. Pap 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 pap. Did you just throw a shoe? For those who remember Austin Powers. Did you just throw a shoe, man? Who throws a shoe, man? But yeah, if you haven't got any Action Force figures, like I don't know, you're sleeping on these figures. You're sleeping, truly sleeping on these. Like these things are amazing.
Oh, here we go. Let's try. I had hit a bunch of files because I was or hidden from view. Here we go. You see some of my other cut attempts. Again, that torso articulation in there.
Right. Now I'm thinking of that top torso. Do you have it cut just enough where it can go like it bend forwards and backwards?
Yeah, so I'm trying to set it up so the ball socket has enough room so once it rotates, the neck rests on this outer lip
Mhm.
on either end. I'm going to cut out probably a little bit more on this the top piece, just so it has more swing room or just like void space to move around. But yeah, I think that one's sorted. We got pegs for it to pop into the shoulders and similar. That's an extra piece that gets cut away. And this is the one I'm going to be making a few different tweaks on, but I want to figure out something where I'll be able to hopefully go through and put in um, like a ratchet. So I did it again, peg holes so that they'll pop in here instead of doing like a 6-inch would have the rod and ball peg come out. I'm
Right.
going to make some of those for smaller figures, but I figured the big boy would come up with most of the challenges. So if I get all the little the key cut tools that I've been sculpting sorted out with him, then hopefully it should be smooth sailing.
Nice. I can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see it. I can't wait to print it out. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so yeah, this one's already up in that chair. So by all means, if you see it's like whatever, I think this is ready enough, and you by all means try and print some pieces.
Definitely. I'm trying to get this Creati one working. I don't know what's going on with it. I gotta sit here and figure out like why it's not doing what it's supposed to do.
Actually, probably a good one I can do is I can get the head exported. I mean, something that's more or less good to go.
All right, folks. Unless you all have any questions, that's really it for us. And feel free, like always, to ask us any questions that you have or any concerns, or if you're stuck somewhere, we'll definitely try to help you out as best as we can to get you through it. Like I said, we probably been through like anything, most things that have happened when you first get a printer, where you get stuck somewhere, or it's like this is not working, and yeah, you're just like I'm frustrated. I don't know what to do. Feel free to reach out to either of us or both of us and ask. It's no problem at all.
Absolutely.
Grace's nice looking simple.
Well, thank you much, sir. I hope it turns out well, and I hope it conquers many a mutants.
There you go. All right, folks. Well, I'll see you all on Friday at the Infinity Equation 100th episode. And for those of you,
Congratulations.
thank you very much. And Bobby Val will be joining us. Michael French from Retro Blasting will be joining us, and Tony from Analog Toys will be joining us for the 100th episode.
Very cool.
So you can't have it's got to be a party. It's got to be a party for the 100th episode. So
Absolutely.
definitely
Oh,
something fun.
there's something that you mentioned, Michael. I'll have to text it to you. I want to remember it, but I know the rank. I think the Rancor was one that he was disappointed on, but I know he was talking about some prints that he or some things that he got from some people. So I was definitely one that I thought I can't remember which figure it was, but it was someone that came to mind. Like I would love to send you something, so I might follow up with you on that to see if we can send them some sort of goodie.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, just let me know.
All right. Well,
I'm sure he'll enjoy that.
well, thanks you again for everyone for joining us. keep printing, keep creating, and if you have, like I said, any questions, reach out. I'm pretty available on Twitter most days. Love to answer the questions and help you out because, like I said, we've already been through the struggle, and the goal is to make sure that you don't have to.
Exactly, folks. We're always here for you. Until remember, this show is bi-weekly, so not next week, but the week after we'll be back. And we'll see what we'll be talking about again. Talking at that time about. So everybody have a safe and good week, and I'll see you on Friday.
See you Friday, Dante.
See ya.